Hello. This is how I think time began, or our universe began. Or it is at least something I came across sort of independently or on my own, but there is no sort of independent thought necessarily because it's like a amalgamation an amalgamation of ideas put together, and it just like kind of clicked. Something clicked inside of my head. But I will say, when I came across this, it's sort of a theory on how everything began. When I came across this, I was sort of taken aback. Like, this here, what I'm about to explain, transformed me from a nihilist to someone who is carefree. And that is not even an exaggeration. This happened almost instantaneously when I came across this. So, is it real? Is it true? I don't know. But if something was so powerful to save me from nihilism, I have to consider it. So, it all starts with, first of all, I don't think this is the first universe. I think this is I guess, a simulation. We use the term simulation, though, broadly, and it is based off of sort of our own technological understanding of what something something that mimics reality. We call it a simulation. So, sure, it probably works for this as well. So, I consider this possibly being a simulation. Now, I've considered that long before I came across this, but it never necessarily made a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, if it is a simulation, there should be a reason behind it. And I thought I came up with a reasoning as to why we are here, or why this place was created for us. Probably by us. And that's part of it. We, I think, created this universe. When I say we, I mean something similar to us, far flung into the future, but in a different universe. I think that the original universe, if you could call it that, let's just say our mother universe, parent universe. Our parent universe is probably very similar to this universe. I don't think we created something that was dissimilar. I think this is almost, I wouldn't say identical, but very similar to our parent universe. So that being said, this is what I believe happened prior to making this simulation. I believe there was a technological being similar to humanity, very similar to us, on a planet very similar to Earth, orbiting a sun very similar to our own sun. And then, as we know, the sun has a finite time of being active, which I don't actually recall how many billions of years it lasts for, but it's been around, I think, for about 4 billion years at this point. And eventually, it'll expand and encompass the earth will burn, the sun will die out. And we are left with, at that point, two options that we know of so far. I mean, we could travel to another star, or we could find a way to sustain without a star. I don't know if that's easy though. I mean, maybe there's some technological energy transformation where we learn how to take the vacuum of space and turn it into energy, or we invent fusion energy or something like that. But without the sun, we're probably screwed. So, considering how difficult it is to travel to the next sun, we might choose to try and figure out a way to where we can survive here on this planet or in orbit without the sun. And what that might look like is, well, that could look like a lot of things, but with our basic understanding right now, it doesn't seem possible, but this is what I imagine, is that our future self or our parent selves in our other universe decided to put themselves into a biological, technological entity. I meant to say technological, not biological. Like taking our brains and putting it into some sort of technology so we could last forever, so we could be immortal. I don't know why I say immortal, immortal. But in this instance, I guess immortal works since everything online is E, but you get the point. So again, like I would imagine our parent universe had a similar sun that was about to go out or would go out eventually. Maybe part of the civilization went to a different sun, but you gotta imagine not everyone could. So the other part of the civilization went inward into a technological system. And perhaps this system, again, is ran on some sort of energy besides sun energy. And it could go on for almost ever as long as there was energy. So I don't like to say I actually already just said immortal, but I don't think anything is immortal. I think everything is finite. Just some things last a very long time and some things go a very long distance. We just can't calculate those. We can't measure those. And I think that's what most people think of. I think a lot of people think like the universe is infinite and some things are infinite. I think infinite is not necessarily real. Everything is finite. And I would say that even our parent selves in this structure, whatever it is finite. But it could last for billions of years. So we would seem immortal. And so that's what I think happened with our parent civilization. Now, they are in this electronic technological structure. They seem immortal. It feels immortal. If you live for a billion years, my goodness, that's got to seem immortal. So what do? Simulation planet Earth. Something to replicate where they were from. Something to feel like they would like to feel again, which is mortal, filled with emotions, filled with experience, something beyond this technological foreverness, this feeling of technological foreverness. And this could just be like one simulation of many in which they participate in. But I do believe that there is a reason to create a simulation of our universe. And I think that's basically it. They just became bored, or there was other reasons to maybe create it for entertainment or what. Like, I guess boredom and entertainment go along in the same category. But I've since then come up with other reasons. But when I came across this and like I truly thought about it, I was like, this is how I defeated my nihilism. It's like, this is not the real universe. The real universe is beyond us. And since this was created by us, none of it is actually real. So, all of those negative feelings you have, if you're sad about this or that in life, let's just say acne. I had acne at the time. I still do. I can't seem to shake it. But I was sad about my acne. And it's just one thing I was sad about. I mean, the world was crap, in my opinion. But the acne was kind of a big one. And then I just realized, like, wait, none of that actually matters. Because this is just it's a copy. This is a copy of a universe from long ago. This isn't the real thing. So why would acne matter? And in the same vein, why would anything matter? And I'm not saying nothing matters. I'm just saying, like, this realization that civilization, like, preceded us was all it really took for me to stop thinking so negatively about this universe. And all of my life and its struggles just sort of melted away. Because what's the point? Why dwell on it? This is not the only life. This is just a life. And yeah, I guess this was the beginning of a whole other set of thoughts that I've had on the subject. But again, I thought of this being a simulation before, but for some reason, when I came across this, it just clicked. Everything clicked. And it all sort of made sense. And like I said, I've never had anything just like melt away negativity like that. So there's a couple things that could have happened. It could be that I was just biased and I was like, oh, I came up with this idea by myself. It must be a good idea. Again, I do know that it was like a bunch of other thoughts put together, and I just put I put a certain amount of thoughts together in my head. Like, I didn't necessarily come up with it myself. It was just like an order of thoughts that made me think of it this way. So I could be biased and just proud of myself for doing that, but I don't think that's it. Like, I felt such a relief when I thought of it. It was just so powerful. I could not ignore it. I could not ignore it as just a simple thought that I had. So it was either me biasly thinking that my thought was great, or it might have actually meant something. I actually I intended on like really expanding upon it, but it's a simple idea. And there's only so much you can do with it. I've done a lot with it, but like it's just thoughts and stuff like that. But it probably has kept me from having some of my more negative thoughts and kept me out of nihilism. Anyway, I'll probably have more on it later. I would say today is not my best day of expressing these sort of things. But thank you for listening and stay tuned. Talk to you later. Goodbye.